Hello and welcome to Foundation Friday, February 18th, 2022. Steve Sipress here with another in our multi-part series on the fantastic foundational book, The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David J. Schwartz. We are in the chapter titled, You Are What You Think You Are. And Dr. Schwartz reminds us that like other phases of our personal program for success, winning respect is fundamentally simple. To gain respect of others, you must first think you deserve respect. And the more respect you have for yourself, the more respect others will have for you. Test this principle. Do you have much respect for the bum on Skid Row? Of course not. Why? Because the poor fellow doesn't respect himself. He's letting himself rot away from lack of self-respect. Self-respect shows through in everything we do. Let's focus our attention now on some of the specific ways we can increase self-respect and thereby earn more respect from others. And we'll go on with these in further episodes here on Foundation Friday. But right now we're going to focus on how to look important because it will help you to think important. The rule is, remember that your appearance talks. Be sure it says positive things about you. Never leave home without feeling certain you look like the kind of person you want to be. He talks about an ad titled by the American Institute of Men's and Boys Wear with the slogan, "Dress right, you can't afford not to." And in one of the ads, there's a quote from a police officer. This is known as profiling, and you've heard the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. You know why that's the saying? Because everyone does. Of course, people judge books by their cover. Otherwise, there wouldn't be, look at all the books behind me. They would all have blank covers. And they would have nobody creating artwork and trying to persuade people to buy the book, read the book, share the book, talk about the book, interview the author on TV about the book, unless if it was not true that the book cover didn't matter at all. Of course, you judge books by their cover, and you judge people. One of the ways is by their appearance. Here's the statement from the police officer, and this is 60 years ago, but it's probably been true for many, many years before. Still true today. It'll be true for many, many years to come. You can usually spot a wrong kid just by the way he looks. Again, whatever your political persuasion or thinking about this, or it shouldn't be, or whatever, it's the way it is. We're dealing with facts here, not the reasons why. The facts are what they are. You can spot a wrong kid just by the way he looks. Sure, it's unfair, but it's a fact. People today judge a youngster by appearance, and once they've tabbed a boy, it's tough to change their minds about him, their attitude toward him. Look at your boy. Look at him through his teacher's eyes, your neighbor's eyes. Could the way he looks, the clothes he wears, give them the wrong impression? Are you making sure he looks right, dresses right everywhere he goes? And Dr. Schwartz cautions us to use the same statement thinking about ourselves. How about the way we look, the way we dress? So I've long been a fan and a proponent. Obviously now I'm at home, I'm dressed casually. But when I'm out speaking, there's a uniform to wear. There's a uniform to wear for doing sales, just like there's a uniform that a cop wears, a soldier wears, a judge wears, a doctor wears. There are uniforms in life that throw off feelings in the person who is seeing the person in the uniform. So it's a common, conversation I have with chiropractors, for instance, that will dress casually when they're doing their chiropractic work. And they'll push back when I say, you really ought to dress like a doctor, like a medical, they're a doctor of chiropractic. They ought to dress like a medical doctor, put on some scrubs, put on some, look like a doctor. It'll help you to convince more patients to follow through with what you're prescribing, to take your findings and actually implement them and pay you money and want to come back, and it never fails that it does. And so on and so forth. So that's what Dr. Schwartz brings up a couple of other examples in here. He also lets us know to use clothing as a tool to lift your spirits, to build confidence. An old psychology professor of mine used to give this advice to students on last-minute preparations for final exams. He'd tell them to dress up for this important exam. Get a new tie, have your suit pressed, shine your shoes, look sharp because it will help you think sharp. And Dr. Schwartz, who is a PhD in psychology, states the professor knew his psychology. Make no mistake about it. Your physical exterior affects your mental interior. How you look on the outside affects how you think and feel on the inside. And finally, he says, it points out that the person's appearance has a tremendous effect on their thinking. Anyone who has ever served in the Army knows a soldier feels and thinks like a soldier when he's in uniform. That a woman feels more like going to a party when she is dressed for a party, and by the same token, an executive feels more like an executive when he's dressed like one. A salesman expressed it to me this way. He said, I can't feel prosperous, and I have to if I'm going to make big sales, unless I know I look that way. So dress for success. Understand that your appearance throws off feelings not only to yourself, but to others. That is part of thinking big, and experience the magic of thinking big, as Dr. David Shea Schwartz continues to share with us. And I'll be back with another episode diving deeper into this chapter on next Foundation Friday. And I'll be back here again with you tomorrow on Social Media Saturday.